kind of get the basic overview of things. And I don't need too much time today unless you have things and questions for me. So why don't I start you off with just going through what I've got listed under your current lesson today. Let me remind you, I did post the whole final exam schedule on the first page, right? The home page. So if you are at all lost anytime this week, just look right here, right? So here we are, period 4-5, 11:50. And then we'll work our way through. So under current lesson today, so in a second, I will be happy to take any questions that you have for me. Let me just talk to you about kind of what's here. All right. So this is the overview of the final exam, which we've talked about a few times here, but it's there if you need it. I said, basically, if I were you, I would focus in on three things. I would focus on vocab. All right. And I would use Quizlet to practice that. I would focus on reflexive, which is in the present tense. And we'll talk about that very briefly here in a second, but I've got two documents. Let's see. Well, I guess sort of three. These are the two specifically on reflexive. And then this is just basic present tense conjugation. And then, of course, the preterite or the past tense. So here is a document on that. So basically, these are the things that I would suggest you make sure you know before your final. All right. So let's clarify. When is your final? Your final is right here on Wednesday at 8 a.m. So you're going to come at 8. I will do any last minute speaking finals that I have to do real quick with those guys. And then I will take questions, and then we'll probably just play a game for those of you that want to play a game with us. And then I'll also just kind of give you a little bit more time to study before the actual exam. So you know how that went period 2 today. You had about an hour. Then I think you have like a 15-minute break, and then we take our exam. So just reminders on the exam, you're going to have some listening sections, you're going to have some reading sections, and you're going to have some fill in the blank sections. And again, what do I study? Well, it's all right here, these three topics. All right. So please go back and use your resources to study those. All right. Then down here, obviously in a second, I'm going to go back to speaking finals because I do have a handful of people I still need to catch up with. So what should everybody else be doing? First of all, I guess I didn't put this here. I should. I'm going to add it as we're talking here. I would suggest that you check Skyward. Skyward is completely 100% up to date as far as I can tell. So if you think that you've turned something in, if I missed something, if I don't know, I put in a 5 and you got a 10 on it, then that is your responsibility to let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and put check Skyward and let me know if anything is not correct. Okay. It is as correct as I think it can be. So that means that you need to, go back through and let me know if it's not. So that would be the first thing I would say to do. Then you go back and you review the notes. What notes? Oh, they're right here. I'm making this real simple for you. Okay. Make sure you understand all those topics. Then I would suggest old quizzes and practice. Old quizzes. That's one thing. So look, if you go over here to your quizzes, as you know, there have been lots of different things we've done starting in August. Some of them are due now. Some of them are exit tickets. So you've got STEM changers. You've got different quizzes. You've got the Para Empezar quiz. There's quiz 1A. I mean, you go back through all these, right? So go back through, see how you did. Here's reflexive practice. Here's another quiz. This would be the quiz over reflexive. You've got exit tickets and practices. Here we started preterite, a preterite quiz, a sarin ear practice, another preterite quiz, plus vocab. So again, these are here. Look at them. Okay, practice them. So I would highly suggest you check that area. There are some things under assignments, but I think quizzes is going to give you more practice questions. You can do the same thing under your textbook if you're looking for more practice, because under your textbook, obviously we've done practices on all these topics, plus you can redo them if you didn't do well or you just want to repractice it. Okay. So I would check out that. And then the last thing I did is I said practice listed from Friday. On Friday, I listed some study Spanish and conjuguemos. This is reflexive and this is preterite. So if you want to go back to these topics from Friday, I just went ahead and linked that in if you are looking for some more practice. So that's kind of the overview of everything. I mean, really, I just am going to give you time to study. I don't, if somebody has a topic or a question that you want me to review, I would be happy to do that. I can do that now. I can also do that on test day. If you've studied and you're like, gosh, I really don't understand this thing, I would like to hear Ms. Silverly explain it one more time, I would be happy to do that. Otherwise, I kind of just give you the time and the resources to go back and practice and check things. So does anybody have anything that you would like me to go over again? If you want me to explain how to do something or where to look for something, or, I mean, anything. Any questions about your final in general? Now would be the time. Okay. I'll also say if you want to stick around for a minute after, if you want to talk to me individually, I can do it then too. But otherwise, like I said, you've got all the resources. You just need to do the practice. How many questions is the final? Let me think. It's probably like, I'm just trying to think it through here. I think it's 55 points, but some things might be worth more than 1 point. So I'm going to guess it's like, I guess I could look. It's probably like 35, 40 questions, something like that. You will have an hour to take it. If you qualify for extra time, then you will have extra time put onto that. Here, I'll look at it real quick. I can't remember if you really want to know questions. It is points. It's 55 points, 60 minutes. I don't know. How many questions is it? I'm looking since you're here. So it's technically 39 questions, but within each question, sometimes there's more than one, chunk of questions. So it's 55 points basically. What else? Anybody else? I think that was my question in the chat.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Sure.
So I'm assuming that it is on Canvas, but okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my math class is doing it differently.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's on Canvas. It's just like, same kind of format as your other tests and quizzes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anything? Okay, well, let me tell you who I need to stay because you haven't done your speaking final yet. And then if anybody else wants to stay and just touch base with me about anything for a second, please feel free to stay on the Zoom. Otherwise, I will remind you that period 7/8 starts today at 12:40. So you've got about 40, 35 minutes from now, okay, to do whatever you need to do. All right, here are the people that need to stay. And if I miss you and you haven't done the speaking, please stay too. But according to my records, I need Hannah, David, Sandra, Miranda, and Layla S. According to my records, everybody else has done the speaking. If you know that you have not, please stay so you don't get a 0. But that's who I think needs to stay. Plus anybody else that wants to. Otherwise, then I will see you, what did we say? Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. All right. Be in touch if you're missing anything, if you have any questions. Otherwise, hasta miércoles. I'll see you then.
Okay, so I forgot to ask you this when I logged in early on accident earlier. But in case by some chance I do actually still end up in the X class, I want to be ready for it. And even if I don't end up there, then I think this will be good for me. Where is the X class right now? Because I can still